Normally I wouldn't approach ya without a formal introduction. Never been the type to move fast, but I'm feeling early eruption. Now tell me, are you down with that? Once you rock with me, ain't no coming back. I need a monkey, come hold me down. A real queen, now come wear this crown. Now we rockin' like, oh, holler out, flex up. Now we rockin' like, oh, I'll tell you what's next up. Now we rockin' like, oh, holler out, flex up. Now we rockin' like, oh, I'll tell you what's next up.
Yo, here we go again. Another great episode about to come up. You see our hats. This is the state of the franchise. Both Giants fans, right? Both baseball fans. But today, we're specifically talking about our team in the NL West. What's good, Mario? Excited for this one, really, because I haven't had no one here to talk baseball with, at least for the Giants. You're really one of those fans who's really tough on their team, and I really want to hear like a lot of the stuff that we talked about when we was playing MLB The Show.
Yeah.
We had to take a break because both of us was on the grind on the game. I had to take a mental break. Like I just had to get away from the game for a second. But this game's getting kind of addicting. Anyways,
It's life, man, for me.
I
Like
love
that's all I do in my free time. I got no life.
it. It keeps you safe though. You stay at home. You with your kid.
Yeah, hey
It
man.
is what it
It
is.
keep me in
You
the
know what I mean?
house. It keep me from doing some craziness outside.
Yeah.
That's all
Like
I'm
that's
doing.
what I tell like people get mad at these soldiers like get out the house and do something. Yeah, yeah. Now you're risking a high percentage of them doing something stupid. Like
Yeah.
let them
Also,
play
I'm
their
paying
video
rent,
games.
so like I would like to enjoy my home as well. You know
My
what I mean? I
investment.
paid for I paid for the game. I paid for the PlayStation. I paid rent. Like let me enjoy my house.
Right. I love
You
that kind of
know?
stuff, man. So, San Francisco Giants fans, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about this offseason. Well, first of all, let me go back even more. I want to talk about the 107 win season. And I remember something you told me was like, you know what? Like, that was surprising. And I agree. We both
Yeah.
agreed that strategically, that's the reason why we're there, right? Like, the lineup changing every time, unpredictable.
Yeah.
I just people resurrecting their because Buster had a down year, Crawford had a down year, Belt had a down year, and they all came out of nowhere. Even Longoria, like it was like the fountain of youth last year. I want you to elaborate on the season last year. I mean, I loved it because I'm a fan, but we all knew that
Yeah.
coming in it was going to be a whole different story.
Yeah. I did not think they were going to be doing what they're doing this year is where I thought they were going to be last year, sitting in third place, kind of somewhere middling around 500. Uh, I that's what I thought they were going to be last year.
Mm.
Obviously, I grew up, a very I'm a cautious Giants fan because we had the World Series in 2010, so I expected something along those lines in 2011. We bottomed out, didn't even make the playoffs. Next year, I'd expected that, made it to the World Series, won, and then we just skipped a year again, and then went to 2014, and it was odd to me.
Yeah.
Um, this year, well, last year they were fortunate. Buster Posey specifically, because he sat out the year prior
He got
because
rest.
of COVID, and
He
he
got a
had
lot of
been
rest.
often injured with that hip injury, so he was not at his full full strength, full health, whatever. So he had that whole year off to just sit, relax, recover, heal, work on his game, and do his thing. So I think Buster Posey benefited the most out of it from everybody. You know what I mean? But man, this year they're showing their age a little bit.
I want to say
Um,
that because we were talking also like I really loved last year's team. It was exciting because it was unpredictable. Like late night Lamont coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
all the old heads like finding the fountain of youth, like I said. And then the thing that I really liked about it was I got to learn more about analytics through our team. We have a abundance of left hand or lefties, right, to bat. So
yeah,
you're talking about lefties, just and then we have a lot of righties too, but it was like majority of them were lefties. So like analytically, we
yeah.
were always shifting and like
Imagine that.
and then the other manager, the opposing manager, would be like, man, I don't even know what they're gonna do. I believe the rule is you got to put your lineup 2 hours before game day or something like, or game time, something like that.
Something like that.
Because I remember, the Dodgers cracked our code. We already know that. Like they cracked it last year
Yeah.
during the playoffs. But I just
Well,
love the way that
well,
the lineups changed.
they cracked it in the playoffs. In the playoffs, it was easy because you only like, especially towards the end, like you only had to like play a certain amount of players in a sense. Like you knew like if we win this game, we're resting for a week. You know what I mean? So that way
Okay.
you could match it up more easier against a team like that. But that always happens in like all sports with the playoffs.
And
You know
then
what I
like
mean?
you know
You kind of you've seen the same teams enough times to figure out what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? That way you set up an opener, you force the Giants' hand on who they want to play, and if they want to play all lefties, boom, they'll start an opener, and then Julio Reyes comes up in the
out of
second inning
nowhere.
and just destroys
Exactly.
them. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing that I was like, man, they're not starting Julio right now. They kind of took, I forgot, I think it was the Mets, but it was a long, like, couple years back where that was like the first time they did that strategy where they used the
Yeah.
reliever to start and then used their starter to come out later. So like your lineups have to like, you know how your lineups can't change as much throughout the whole thing. So like once you stack it for righties and you bring a lefty in, now you're weak on the lineup and you're trying to like nitpick where you want to put these other players like back and forth. It becomes a chess game and I love it. And
Yeah.
that was literally like that chess game thing. That's what I was going with. This is like I love the way Kapler does his lineups and change it. He still does it to this day.
He,
I think.
he surprised me as well. He surprised me as well. You know?
And another thing besides our lineups, after learning who Gabe Kapler was, right, and how ripped this dude is, shredded and healthy. He
Yeah.
brought that culture with him, nutrition and everything, and that's where I
Yeah.
believe a lot of the fountain of youth came from for these old heads. Is like they got into and they bought into his health lifestyle that it kind of helped them throughout the
Yeah.
160 plus game season.
And something that nobody really talks about is Bruce Bochy left some pretty big shoes to fill. You know what I mean? Like he left some pretty big shoes to fill in San Francisco. That man, he's one of those people that like he eats for free wherever he goes in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like him, Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, those guys are gonna be eating for free in San Francisco no matter where they go.
Anytime you see him,
You
oh,
know,
it's on the
so
house.
oh yeah, it's on the house. Yeah, absolutely. But you lose but Bruce Bochy, and I saw what happened with the Phillies and with Gabe Kapler and how they had a pretty decent squad minus their bullpen. Again, it's the same story this year. And I was very concerned about how things turned out in Philadelphia. I was like, yo, is that going to happen in San Francisco? And now, I mean, looking at what's happened with Joe Girardi this year and him getting canned, I'm like, okay, maybe it was just Philadelphia. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
It's just Philly
yeah,
being
and
Philly.
seeing what Kapler did in San Francisco and see what's going on in Philly, I'm like, okay, maybe just Philly was the problem. Maybe what they had going on there was the issue, and Philly Kapler did the best they could. But they got that 107 game season, which I was shocked about. And they did it with no stars, really, like old players,
Did
and
anyone
people
make
that
All
would
Star?
be like platoon guys elsewhere. What's that?
Did anyone make All Stars this year?
I mean, I think the All
I
Star
think
voting
Crawford.
has started yet.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
last
last
year's.
year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crawford made it. Gossman
I
made
wanted to
it.
say, did Buster?
I think Buster Posey made it.
I would
I
look
know
it up,
Gossman
but
for sure. I know Gossman did, and I know Brandon Crawford did. I know those two for sure did.
oh, Gossman for
You
sure
know,
did. Yes, he had a
I
tremendous
wish
year,
we would have kept
and
Gossman,
he's
man.
still
He's been
having a
killing it in
tremendous year
Toronto.
right now. Yeah. So,
Yes,
so
yes,
speaking of Gossman being somewhere else, this is where I'm, segueing this topic. We're going to the off season. Losing him, but
yes.
we get your boy Rodon, right? Um,
Love that guy.
we get a World Series champion in the Homer Young Jock, right? We
Yeah,
get him who is having a great season as well to his own right. But what are like this offseason? It's typical Giants. We don't get all the big names. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we just get it where we can, and Rodon coming in was really big for us. We needed that, knowing
Yep.
that we took a loss in Gossman. But what it does is now we have a 1-2 punch righty and lefty with Rodon and now
Hmm.
Logan Webb. Like, I'm happy about that. We don't have two righties, and like our best lefty is like who? Is it not Desclafani? Was it Alex Wood?
Yeah,
It's
Alex
like
Wood and Discofani.
and like I'm really I'm not talking about Desclafani right now because of what he did in the
Yeah.
playoffs. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
yeah, but what did you like? What did you didn't like? You already told me. Oh, I mean, one, the retirement of Buster kind of hurt me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I have confidence in our rookie catcher, except you. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna actually do well. Plus, think about
I
it,
hope he
man.
does.
What is
I
the
hope he does.
what is the public transit out there to go all over the Bay Area, bro? The BART station.
It's terrible.
Come on now.
Bart Station.
Come on now. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's terrible.
Like, it's
Terrible.
endorsed. Let's
Yeah,
endorse
the
it.
nickname fits. The nickname fits. Like they can do
Bro.
all of those Bart mantra nicknames to San
Telling you,
Francisco.
his
Sure,
name
they'll
is
sell tons of
tied
merchandise
up.
if he's good.
Exactly. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
I'm sure they'll
So
sell tons of merchandise
that's
if he's
why
good.
he's gonna be good too. Not just good. Like if he was average, we still get a plus because his
I can
name's Bart.
I can see the headlines now. The Giants ride the Bart to the postseason. You know what I mean? I can see the headlines now, bro. You
He's
know.
gonna have him actually in it.
But with the offseason, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that they aren't big spenders and they get it where they can because I think next year that's going to be changing. I think they're waiting to get all of those big contracts that they still have
Like
in the form of
Longo.
those old guys.
Hmm.
Buster Posey's gone now. You got Brandon Crawford that
Belt.
they just gave a 2-year deal, so he's got one more, and then Belt. I personally let him walk, but we'll see what
And
happens.
Longo got
But
like 15.
and Longoria. But last year they got a bang for their buck. What's fortunate when we talked about it in a previous podcast was they brought in the DH. The DH is new this year, so that will allow the Giants to bring in a Jock Peterson, not have to play a Darren Ruff, and they can play Darren Ruff and Jock Peterson are almost the same guy, just bad at opposite
Different-
hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Just bad opposite hands.
That's
So
all
you
it
face
is.
a lefty, boom, you throw Ruff in there. You face a righty, Jock Peterson demolishes him, and you don't have to worry about them playing the same-handed
field.
pitcher in volume. You know what I mean? So that was huge because he's outplaying that $6 million contract that he got. So that's fortunate for the Giants. Rodon, like I told you last year, I follow Rodon heavily. I watched every single one of his games last year in Chicago. I was probably the most hyped person that you knew about Rodon coming
Oh
to the
yeah,
Giants.
I heard it all from
Okay.
you. I heard it all from
Yeah,
you.
I was
When
on
he's
the
still
Carlos
pitching for
Rodon
Southside.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the Carlos Rodon train last year, and like even the thought that he was going to be with the Giants, I was excited about. They gave him the 2-year, I think it was $40 or $44 million deal. Second year's an opt out. He's playing above that already.
Already.
Like they're already
Damn
talking
near
about.
steal.
He's in that Cy Young Award talk currently right now. If he stays healthy, he's going to win somewhere between 15 to 18 games. I promise you this year.
Yeah. I
15,
mean,
18 games,
don't.
and he'll probably have around 7 to 10 losses,
Yeah. So for
and
me,
that's fantastic.
like I told you, I have no disappointments with him. But I just have a high standard for him because I've already seen bad games with good teams. So I know it's gonna change. Of course, it's a long season, but I'm not saying that I'm not excited to have him. Of course, I'm excited to have him. We need that kind of player. He's like him and Webb are a good 1-2 punch. You pick who's the ace. Doesn't matter. This is Kurt Schilling, and this is a diet version of Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson to me. We got that
Yeah.
kind of we have that one type of
And
1-2 punch.
Wood and Disclafani are pretty solid in their own right too. Like that nobody talks about. Wood's not playing as well as they thought he would, but I mean, like, I think he's a 4 guy. And you need a 3. I'm interested to see what they do
The
come
one,
trade deadline time.
well, we're gonna talk about that, but for me,
Yeah.
when you talk about the offseason, I think we wasted our money on Alex Cobb. I'm not a big fan of him. $10 million for this guy, and he's already like getting his butt whooped every game I see him in. I know. I think his splitter is supposed to be his strikeout punch, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
smacking the shit out of it. Every time I see him do a splitter, it's a wrap because he goes sinker, he'll throw another sinker, then splitter, boom, smack,
Yeah.
home run. And I'm like, bro, we've paid $10 million for this guy. So, that's some disappointment. I like the fact that during the beginning you get to see some of your AAA players. So that's where I want to segue before we get into this season. Like what was his name?
Julio Ramos?
Yes, Ramos, right? Gets
Yeah.
his first hit. Great for him. He gets to see, gets a taste. I know he's gonna be one of the September call-ups. I know he's gonna do that. I
think he's back right now. I'm pretty sure he's back with him right now. I'm pretty sure he's up there right now.
We got a lot of injuries in the outfield.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't believe.
Yeah, but also like the outfield has always been a patchwork outfield as well. Like
the whole roster. Let's be honest. Our whole roster is patched. Like
yes.
I want to talk
a lot
about
of
this
these
so
guys.
much. We need to
A
get
lot
rid
of these
it.
guys are. A lot of these guys are solid bench players elsewhere, and the fact that the Giants are even in third place, not very far behind San Diego and not very far behind LA with what they have, is like astounding to what Gabe Kapler.
We're only 6.5. We're only 6.5 from first place.
And think about all the players. And think about all the players that LA's paying. Think about all the players that San Diego has, and we're keeping up with them.
Man,
that's crazy to me.
That is crazy, but this is a testament to that we both said about Gabe Kapler and his staff. Like just game planning. It's like, look, we got to do what we can with what we got. But just imagine when, our front office finally wants to break the bank and do some stuff. You mentioned it, the trade deadline, right? Are we buyers or sellers?
Yes.
What do you think?
Right now, where they're sitting at 28 and 24, I would assume they're going to be buyers. I would assume. You know what I mean?
And I told you.
I don't know, but like one would assume that they're going to be buyers. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you who I want, man. I want that kid over there in Washington, man. I need Juan
Soto. I don't think Soto going to San Francisco, man.
Listen,
like you gonna have to give up. Look, I'll tell you this.
Think about this trade. Just him. So it's just for him. There's no additives towards the Nationals, right? I'm giving up. Let's see. I'm giving up Yaz just to replace him at position. You're gonna get mad at this. You're really gonna get mad at this. I'm giving up Hunter Bishop.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
Then I would look into another expiring contract just to match it. I'm giving up Longo, and then after that, I don't even know how picks go. But I'm like future wise. You
know damn well who's gonna have to get involved in that trade.
I'm not giving him. I'm giving up everything but Marco Luciano. I'm not giving up Marco Luciano. No, you can have Will Wilson.
Look, if we're talking a trade for Soto, it's going to be centered first of all around Marco Luciano. Regardless, it's going to have to be. If I'm Washington myself, I'm asking for Luciano. I'm asking for Bart. I'm asking for Ramos, and I'm probably asking for Matos or Bednar. You got to.
No, we gotta give them.
You know what I mean? Before you even thinking about taking.
Let's give
before
them
you
Luis
start thinking about taking on expiring contracts. You got to.
I'd give you Luis Gonzalez. He's the player of the month.
I don't know. Hold on. I would hold off on that. Let me see what Luis Gonzalez is first. Let me see what he man. Let me see what he is first. The guy's batting .324 with 2 home runs and 19 RBIs just on this. Let me see what he is first. Let me see what he is. Because what
he's
if
a rookie, right?
Yes.
He's a 26-year-old rookie. There's not a lot stuff that I want to see from him. He can go. I'm doing errors. I'm keeping Luciano with everything I have. You can have Bishop. You can have Luis Gonzalez. You can have freaking Will Wilson. You're not touching that guy though. I'm not giving you.
Look, they go like there is no trade in this world for a Soto or a Harper or a Judge because the Phillies might be in fire sale mode sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so give us
So,
Harper. You
keep
know,
an eye on that.
bring
But
Harper over
still,
to his
though,
old manager.
you ain't going to just give him up because you're just trying to get rid of him.
Who?
There is
Juan
no
Soto?
trade for any one of those three
Yeah,
guys
you're gonna need
that
prospects.
don't
I get it.
that doesn't involve Luciano. None.
I just know that's the only
None.
one I'm putting untouchable.
I get it. That's the one.
I'll give
I'm
you
telling
Luis
you, I'm not-
Toribio.
Like if you're the Giants and I'm the Nationals, if you don't even have Luciano to start, I'm not even having the conversation with you. Like
Not
I'm
even-
just hanging up the
not-
phone.
Not even if I give you like three prospects that are gonna be good. If I gave you Bishop, if I
you will
gave
give me
you
Luciano. Look,
if I give you
you
Will
can,
Wilson,
at the
Ramos,
very least,
and Bishop, you wouldn't take those three?
at the very least, you gonna give me Luciano. You gonna give me Matos. You gonna give me Ramos, and you gonna give me Bart.
All
to
four?
Start. To start.
All four.
For
That-
Juan
I would-
Soto? Yes. Juan Soto? Absolutely.
I would decline that ASAP. I'm not gonna do that. That's too many of my future right there.
Exactly. That's why you just let somebody like San Diego, who has all these. They're not gonna have all the money to pay all these guys, anyways.
Yeah,
San
they're
Diego,
not the Dodgers. They don't have that kind of
They're
money.
not gonna have all this money to pay these guys. They still got Hosmer on the hook. They're gonna have to pay Tatis. They got Machado
No,
on the
they
hook.
already
but-
paid Tatis, didn't they? They gave him like a crazy. Hold on, let me look at this freaking.
Did they?
They gave him a
I'm telling you.
crazy amount of money, bro.
I'm telling you. And I'm a big Juan Soto fan.
Bro,
And the Giants have been linked to
it's a 13-year
Was that-
contract.
for how long? How much a year?
Well, right now he's only making 14.8, but I'm pretty sure it gets higher and higher as
Yeah,
it
that's
goes-
gotta jump. That's gotta jump.
Yeah, it's gonna jump. I think he's still on his rookie contract until he gets into it. But his it's supposed to be like I think it was a 10-year extension, and it was like a crazy amount of money. But they already paid him, so it's like whatever.
If I'm Washington, I want Luciano. I want Matos. I want Bart. And I'll take Yastrzemski and Longoria off your hands.
Golly, man, I wouldn't do that. However, since we're
But
talking
that's
about
like
this,
the asking price for a guy like that.
who is
He's
24
only
years
20.
old. Yes,
He's only 24,
right.
and he's one of the top 5 hitters in the all of baseball. Like, and you're gonna have him for 10 plus years.
My
You
question
know what I
is,
mean? Like,
when do we like call it quits on this whole thing? Do you think that we go rebuild mode after this year?
I don't think so because they're doing something that you don't see very many teams in any sports do. They're competing while rebuilding.
I don't see the rebuild
Like-
though.
Look at that farm system. They're just stocking these guys up, slowly working Barden, slowly working Ramos in, slowly working Gonzalez in. I think Luciano will be up sometime at the end of September and be ready for full time next year. I put him. I know he's a shortstop. I'll put his ass at third for a year, a whole year at third.
Or why
Split
not
a little bit of time.
or why not
Split a little
move,
time with Brandon Crawford. What's up?
why not move Crawford, an aging Crawford, to third, so he ain't has to do too much anymore?
I would put Crawford at second.
Nah, I would put him at a less readable type of. He's still gonna be great. I think we put him at third so that it limits because he's old. He's getting old to the point where
Because after next year, thank you. I'm letting him walk.
I like this. I would put Crawford at third, and then what's his name, Luciano at short, where they can both talk to
Who'd
each
you put
other.
at second?
That's the question. Maybe
We put a second because they got fucking what's his name, man.
So if you
The
put
Stella's
Crawford
there, but like that guy can't stay
Yeah,
healthy
I'm
to
gonna
save
talk
his
about-
life.
I mean, they have a bunch of bench players there, but what I'm saying is, if we would have listened to what you said, if we put Crawford on second and we put Luciano at third, who's playing short? We're both
no.
stuck.
I would keep him at short. I would keep Crawford at short. Crawford's fine at short. Crawford's still a perennial B plus to
Yeah.
A plus glove.
You
like,
would
shortstop.
put Luciano at third?
Yeah, I don't think he got the
I
rain
would.
for short.
Mm,
I don't think he got the range for every day short. I don't think, honestly, I'm surprised that Crawford has the range for every day short because that dude's slow. Fuck.
this happened yesterday when I was telling people like in basketball. With age comes wisdom, right? So
Yeah.
you understand the game to the point where you know where you have to go. You don't have to trust your athletic ability no more. He knows
Yeah.
angles. He knows how to get to
Yeah.
where he needs to be now.
And he's got the arm to make any throw, which is fortunate. You
And
know
that
what
was
I
the
mean?
thing I was telling people in basketball. It's like, bro, you don't have to be a young stud athletic person as long as you know how to get to the spot faster than them.
I don't. I don't think Luciano is gonna be that glove first guy. Like the
Yeah,
guy is a walking.
he's an offensive.
Luciano's a walking bat.
Yeah,
Like that dude's a
he's
walking
offensive.
bat.
He definitely
Yeah,
is.
and if I'm gonna have somebody who's gonna be semi defensive liability, I'm not trying to call out Tatis or anything, but I don't want him as short. I don't want him as
I'm
short.
not gonna call him out, but I'm gonna call him out. Look, I'll tell you like this. I feel like it's if we don't make playoffs, I think because as a fan, I'm gonna say we're going to World Series. But look, that's a tall order. Okay, New York Mets
Yeah,
came out of nowhere, right? Well, they didn't come
and
out of nowhere. They're just clicking now that
yeah,
together. You still
and
got the Dodgers.
yeah. No matter what teams make the playoffs, all roads to the World Series is gonna come through LA.
Yes,
It's gonna come through
bro.
LA.
The rich get richer
But there's some
this
choke
off
art.
season.
But LA's some choke artists too, though.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. San Diego's choke artist,
You,
but the
you,
teams
you
I'm
get
really
that
worried
you get
about.
that ass you, you get that asterisk World Series, and then you think you're top of the world, I guess.
Listen,
But
listen. I'm gonna tell you like this: the only teams that okay, Dodgers and Padres, great, but the teams that I'm worried about in this league is literally St. Louis Cardinals. I really feel like they're gonna push hard because they know three of their Hall of Famers are retiring this year, right? I really feel
and
like
what's
they're gonna.
crazy is Wainwright's getting better with age. Wainwright's get like you said, like you were
Like
saying, like
wine.
when you get older, you have that hindsight, so we have to rely on that power stuff, and he's just got to locate it, put some brake on it, and like he's getting
Just
people.
got
His
yeah.
ERA, his ERA when he turned 35 was like 4.40, and it's progressively gotten lower each year, and ERA is like 2.40 or something like that this year.
Right.
It's insane.
Like we were talking about, St. Louis is more. I'm more feared of them than any other team, right? I'm not gonna discredit any of them that's above them, but they have one of my favorite players over there, Edmund. I love that
Oh,
kid.
Edmund.
Edmund's a
Hey
and
man,
then you got Paul Goldschmidt just playing out of his mind.
I, I
Like
feel like I feel like you're giving a lot of disrespect to Milwaukee right now.
no, I was
I feel
going
like
there
you're
next.
giving a
No, I
lot.
was going there next. I was going there next.
Yeah, I,
So I was going from top to bottom of my most feared teams I don't want to match up with, and Milwaukee was next.
yeah,
You got the
yeah.
Cy Young winner, right? You got that nasty kid over there on the mound. Then you have a closer that can kill you too. Then Yelich is playing great this year, but the whole team in general is playing great. So those two teams, and y'all can call me a Dodger hater. I'm more feared of those two teams, two
Um,
clubs, more than I am with the Padres, more than I am with the Mets, more than I am with the Dodgers, and even the reigning champs. I'm not scared of the Braves.
where they're sitting at 500. I'm worried
Yeah,
about two teams, and none of them are the two teams that you named. If we were to make it in the playoffs, one is LA. I know, like you Dodgers fans, but
I
like
see this.
they play them the most every year. Yeah, the choke artists, but they have our number. They have the lefties. They know what we do, and like it's just that game that like they
I
pretty much have our number.
I feel like if they don't see us first in the playoffs, if they see Milwaukee or they see St. Louis, it's a wrap for them. That's my
The
feeling.
other team
I think those
that
two
I'm
teams,
that I'm I never thought these words would ever come out of my mouth. But
the
the
New
other
York
team that I'm worried about,
Mets,
the Mets.
they're brand new to me.
They're
Like
they're
as a
they're
successful
they have
team.
the best record in baseball, and they don't have their two best pitchers.
Oh, I didn't even put DeGrom into consideration.
They don't have DeGrom right now, and they don't have Scherzer right now. I think DeGrom's rehabbing right now, and they're 36 and 19.
Yeah,
They
okay,
figured it
you
out.
have a valid point, but for me with that team, never mind. I'm not gonna even. I forgot Max Scherzer was there. I forgot about it. Oh That's a great team too. But I just feel like inexperience is gonna hit them in the playoffs. That's where I feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but like when you have a guy like Scherzer that can help you a
Oh,
little bit, like
I'm not worried about Scherzer or DeGrom like doing. I'm worried about the field. I'm worried about the people in the field. I'm worried about the polar bear choking. I like not worried, but I feel like that some in that nature will happen where one of their players, what is it, Sterling Marte's over there now? I feel like he's gonna
Starling Marte's out there. Look, man,
Nemo.
look,
Like I feel like one of them's
you're
gonna just
look. If I'm a team in the playoffs and I gotta face DeGrom, Max Scherzer, Miguel, Chris Bassett, Taiwan Walker, all back to back to back to back to back. Not even talking about their bullpen or Carlos Carrasco as well. Like that's miserable.
with Edwin
Like
Diaz and that dope ass
you have
bullpen entrance.
Scherzer and DeGroms are both aces in their own right. Bassett is a fantastic number 2 guy. Miguel's a good number 2 guy, and Taiwan Walker and Carlos Carrasco pretty solid number 3 guys.
Yeah, I'm not
And they
saying
got
they're
like a
not.
5 to 6 man rotation. That's
But what
miserable.
where I'm going with this is like out of all the teams that I named, up like if you look at two, four, the top six, right? What is it? Top seven. I'll give you seven. I'll give you the 500. I'll give you the World Series at 500. Out of those seven, I don't trust the inexperience in the Mets. I know they have a valid. You have a valid point though. When you have that kind of bullpen, I mean pitching staff in general, yes, you're always going to be in the game. I just don't. I feel like
Yeah.
the Dodgers, it's going to be about matchups. I know the Padres. To me, I don't like them. I don't think they're that of a threat. I think they're going to choke. But the two teams, like I said, I went with experience. Like I don't want to see
You know,
Milwaukee
you know
or St.
who
Louis.
you know you know who the Mets are right now, and you ain't gonna want to hear it. But you know who the
They're
Mets are
us
right now?
last year.
No, they're us 2010 and 2012. They got 2 bona fide great starters, but but better. You can't say that.
No, they're
Scherzer
way
and-
better
and-
than that 2010 team. Like
Hold
as
on,
far as names.
hold on. Listen, yeah, but like when you think about it, they got 2 fantastic ace worth starters, Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum, right? You got fucking Scherzer and DeGrom. You got a solid first baseman, Brandon Belt. Obviously, he hits for more power. You got a Gold Glove caliber shortstop, Lindor and fucking Brandon Crawford. You got, you know what I mean? Like you put these teams together, they're a better version of what we were when we won the World Series.
I was gonna say,
and
they
we were
are a
inexperienced
very
in 2010.
better version because in
Yes.
2010 it
And
wasn't
we-
Crawford
Yes.
Crawford wasn't even on that team. That was Edgar Renteria's year.
yeah, yeah,
So-
but he was on it in 12 and 14.
No,
So,
that's
like,
what yeah, but
Yeah,
that 2010
Yes,
team was a
they're-
bunch of scrappy people. Like 'cause
and that
remember
Giants
Aubrey Huff.
team, yes, that Giants team was inexperienced too when it came to the playoffs and World Series. They just had some bums that they just duct taped together and called it a day.
So
But
I
suppose
get
he
it,
was a rookie. He didn't know then what he knew now.
but do they
you
have
know?
Bruce Bochy in the dugout?
I don't know, man. We'll see. Bruce Bochy started somewhere too because he was average as hell in San Diego.
He got a ring in there. No, he didn't get a ring there. I'm tripping.
No, not in San Diego. He only won rings in San Francisco.
But he done great things
He
in
was
San
a-
Diego.
Bruce Bochy went from an under the radar signing to one of the greatest managers ever. I don't know, like not the greatest manager ever, one of the greatest managers ever. You know? Hey, they all start somewhere, man.
Because there's not a lot of baseball teams that can say that they just put a bunch of like misfits together. That's what
Dudes.
2010 was
Dudes
misfits.
together. Yeah.
Just hey, you
They
come
put a
here,
bunch
you, just come on, let's play. Like that's what it looked like.
Yes.
Where do you see us? Where do you see us at? After 162. Like where do you see our team sitting?
Where I'm seeing us and where I hope we are 2 different things.
Let's go reality.
Reality, I'm a realist as a Giants fan. I'm not. I try to not be one of those disillusional Yankees fans.
So
you know what I
before
mean
you
about
keep
where
going,
they are in the world.
Look, before you keep going, this is what I've always said too. There's a difference. You're either a fan or a supporter. Supporters are those people that only come around when they're successful and want to post them on social media all day, like "Go Giants" when they're winning, but they're nowhere to be found when it comes to discussions about the years that were under 500. So you being the way you are, you're just describing the definition of a true fan. Whereas someone
Yeah.
that I talked to on the streets about the Giants, they're just a supporter. It's like, oh, they're good now. Let me clap for them then. But when they're down, they're not. There's not one peep about them.
So this is all pre-trade deadline stuff, right? Nobody knows what they're going to do in the trade deadline. I'm just speaking about what we got now, all right? About where it's looking right now. What like come talk to me again, fucking when we get to the trade deadline after the trade deadline, all right?
Right.
I think we're going to be in third, fighting for a wild card spot. Is where we're going to be.
That's tough.
I'm hoping we can, you know, outlast San Diego, take two, secure a wild card spot, and at least be. Either way, it's going to be a wild card spot. Whether we're going to have it secure or whether we're going to be fighting for one is going to be two different things. I think we're going to be fighting for a wild card spot the way they're playing right now.
Who will we fight
So-
with? Who do you think the wild? I think Atlanta will, just because of the World Series champs. They're gonna at least fight just for pride purposes. They lost a lot though.
It's going to be between really Atlanta, St. Louis, and probably us and San Diego are the teams.
Mm.
I think Philly's going to be in for quite a while. I don't
said
think they're
what?
going to be. I think they'll be cruising a while. Phillies, I think they're in like they're trying to figure out what they are. Like
They
they're
have
trying to
no-
because like they got. The thing is
Blow
like
it
their
up.
offense is great.
Blow it up.
Offense is great. Offense is great. They have very fantastic starters. Their bullpen is god awful. I think they might have the worst bullpen in baseball. First of all, but like you can't put Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Castellanos, and Real Muto together, and Reese Hoskins together, and have the record that you have.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
insane.
mean, there's a lot of like teams that we've known that's done that before, where they they're high sell or buyers, right? Get all these big names and just like choke because just because you got the bigger names don't mean nothing. Like Bryce Harper,
Like
I hope
if
you
I'm
know,
if I'm
he
the
leaves.
Giants, I'm giving them a call about Castellanos. I'm giving them a call about Castellanos.
But he's nothing more than a
Better
DH.
than a better Darren Ruff.
Okay, I see that.
Than a
But
better Darren Ruff. That can hit lefties and righties. If you get Castellanos, you immediately make Darren Ruff and Jock Peterson obsolete.
That's fair. I mean, I just don't want to like do too much to get somebody that like Ruff isn't that bad. Like I feel like the field is where I'm worried about, especially outfield. Like that's where I'm worried about for our teams. Like we're patching.
So the one guy that I hope the Giants call and kick the tires on and see what's up is Benintendi out of Kansas City.
How old is
That
he?
that man has resurged his career since leaving Boston. I think he's batting like 304 or something like that.
Yeah.
Benintendi, I'm giving him a call about Benintendi. I'm
Who else
calling
was-
Kansas
who
City
else
about
was
Benintendi. Two people I'm calling. Them Benintendi. I'm calling because we need pitching help. I'm calling Cincinnati about Luis Castillo.
I like that one.
Yeah.
You need a third guy because I'm really shaky about those.
Because
other ones.
Cincinnati is definitely gonna be throwing in the towel real soon. So
Man,
hell, honestly, I might give him a call and see what's up about Jonathan India too.
who? Let's see. All right, Cincinnati.
And see if
That's
they're
why-
willing to part with Jonathan India.
That's why
Huh?
I brought up. That's why I brought up Juan Soto because the Nationals are sellers, right? But who? All right, Benintendi is a good one. I mean, I don't give one. I don't even want to curse right now, but I don't care about this person or this team. I'm not getting nobody from Detroit. I don't know about you, but I'm not calling them for nothing. I'm not calling Oakland for nothing. Kansas City, you got to punch.
I'd call Oakland about Frankie Montez.
Sure. It'll be an easy move for him. He doesn't have to move. Just cross the bridge.
Yeah,
time
you
to play.
drive right across the bridge and you're good.
Are you calling anyone from Miami?
I mean, I know they're not going to get rid of him, but like if like y'all want to get rid of Jazz Chisholm, I'm not going to say no.
No, you damn. That's all they
Not
got
going
to sell
to, no.
tickets. They're not. They're not.
Brian, I'd also call him up Brian Anderson as well, the third baseman, who's been
See,
pretty
that's
solid.
more realistic. They're not giving up Chaz, bro.
No,
That is
like
not-
I said, I was like, I know they won't give him up, but like if they're willing to part ways for
like,
a decent price,
see,
I
what other
I
teams?
would suggest him.
Who would you call the Cubs for anybody?
Wilson Contreras, take Bart off my hands.
Oh man, you really hate that dude.
I don't hate him. I just like we're desperate for a catcher. You know what I mean? Talking about early about leaving big shoes to fill. You're desperate for a catcher. Like I just don't think Bart's that guy. And like everybody's like, I've seen him play. I've watched him play. You know, I've seen the highlights and I know what he can do. But I don't. He's like as much as I love people like Aaron, like that man's got a lot of swing and miss. And I think Buster Posey retiring was a huge disservice to Brandon Bart. Because first of all,
Right, I really felt that was
they had
going to
to force
happen.
him in that COVID year. They had to force him in there, and when he wasn't ready, remember that? Because Buster
Yes.
Posey was gone, so they had
Yeah.
to force him in there, and he was like a 220 hitter. And then he went back to AAA, which is where he belonged, or AAA or AA. And then Buster Posey came back. Everything was fine. And I think it was a September call up. And I think he was 1 year away from being ready. I think next year he would have been ready, but you had to force him in there because who are you gonna like? Who do you got? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you're
Like
right
who do
about
you got?
that Buster Posey thing where he literally wasn't like if he would have stayed, he would have been a great backup for Buster because then now you're learning from the one of the greatest
Look.
catchers of all time.
The guy that I'm on the hype train for is Patrick Bailey. That's why I want Bart gone. That's why I want Bart gone, bro.
Go ahead.
I'm on the Patrick Bailey train. I think that guy is gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be great.
How many
but I
years
think
you
he's
think
going-
before he come? You think he comes up?
Next year, maybe.
Mm.
Next year at some point. I think he might be a September call up as well, maybe.
People talk about him, but I don't think.
If I'm the Giants and I want to keep Brandon Bart, right? And I want to put Brandon Bart in a position to succeed. Look, all right. I'm gonna say some things that Giants fans won't like.
I mean, he
If
plays
I'm-
first
if
base
I'm-
too. Throw him at first.
This gonna be yes. I let Belt walk. I move Bart to first, and I put Patrick Bailey at catcher.
No, Bart doesn't have first baseman as his secondary. Patrick Bailey does.
That's a video game. It don't matter. Anybody can learn first base. It's not hard.
No.
I learned first base.
Yeah,
It took me like
but-
6 weeks.
When you get a secondary, that means you at least played it a little bit. Bart probably ain't
He
never.
can play first. Look, if Buster Posey can play first occasionally, you can put Bart's ass over at first, and he can be an everyday first
But
baseman.
no, you're trying to make him an everyday first baseman though. That's the difference. Like I don't know if he could be. I trust Patrick Bailey's defense more than I would trust freaking Joey Bart. I'd rather have him just crouch and just fucking catch. However,
I don't sleep on Bailey's bat though. The guy can hit.
I'm not saying he. I'm talking. I'm just comparing
Yeah,
defenses.
no.
Like defensively, I feel Patrick Bailey's more better. That's where I'm saying. Like for him to be in the field more, I think he'll. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But before we,
I would put
segue-
Butter first.
Before we change the subject, really, I do want to call the Chicago Cubs. There's one person that screams that he can be a Giant. I don't know what it would take to get him, but Ian Happ, I will take him all day. I will take it.
Yeah, he has to be good.
Because he plays.
And he a switch hitter.
Oh,
And he a switch hitter. I was like, are you trying to
no,
fade in and that you're a fan of switch hitters?
Stop.
We get it.
Stop. He's
Are you
a
trying to
switch
plug switch
hitter.
hitters today?
He's a
You trying to
switch
plug
hitter.
switch hitters today? Is that what's going on? Yeah, he's a switch
but
hitter.
he plays. What? He starts at left field. He plays all the fields, but he's also a second.
Yeah.
What is it? Second and third. He can play second. Third. Like he could play a lot of, and that's typically what a Giant is. You got to play multiple positions. You don't know where you're gonna be the next day. So for me, and he's 27, about to turn 28. Like he's not gonna be
I would
that
also-
expensive.
I would give Seattle a call too and see what they would want from Mitch Haniger.
That sounds like a giant too, though. He sounds like a giant.
I would give them a call, see what they were taking for Mitch Haniger.
Give me Ty
You know what I
France.
mean? They're about to have a crowded outfield between Haniger, him, Kelnick, and a
Julio.
few other
Julio
and
Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
bro.
they're about to have a pretty like I would give a call and be like, what would it take to part ways with Haniger?
Hold on. Hold on. Where's he at? Where is he at? Haniger is 31. I wouldn't mind that though. I wouldn't mind a 31-year-old.
The guy can hit.
But
He's
you're
not,
right.
he can
You're
hit,
absolutely
and he's not a liability in the outfield.
You're absolutely right about this Mariners team though with their back like their outfield like Kalenic, is that how you say it? Kalenic? Then you still got someone that's still young in Kyle Lewis, and then you got Julio Rodriguez there too. It's like it's crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be stacked. It really is gonna be stacked. But I'd rather take
Like I would give them a call and just see because like you would think he's 31, he's a solid outfielder that I don't think you would have to give up a lot for.
Yeah, because he's
completely honest with
31.
you.
He's already out of the potential of the trade. You know what I mean? Like
I
what you
would
see is
give him
what
a
you
call
get.
on him, and I'd also give him a call on Adam Frazier.
And he's another one. Adam Frazier's another one that can like play multiple positions. Yeah, he can
Actually,
play all
really,
the
I'd
outfield,
call him about
shortstop,
all
and
of
third.
a lot. I'd give him a call about either him. I'd give him a call, see about what they were doing with Eugenio Suarez, and I'd see what they were
I was
doing with
gonna say
Jesse
that.
Winker. Jesse
We got
Winker can hit
where's
everywhere.
Seattle's sitting very low. You have all you went and tried to be a buyer, getting Suarez, getting Frazier. Like
Yeah.
you should just get all the veterans out. Like you said, I would patch that. I would patch a Haniger, and I would patch Frazier on a trade to the Giants because they're on a win now type of age. Like
Yeah.
they have
'Cause
a
I
lot.
don't
They
think
have a lot
I
of freaking young roster players that are really great potential. The Mariners can do something. They're gonna be
like I really don't think the Giants are going to be sellers. The Giants, I think, are going to do one of two things, and it's either going to be sitting with holding what they got, or trying to get somebody. And if they
They're
hold
gonna
what they got, I'm going to be really disappointed.
they're gonna do the same thing they did last year. They're gonna hold what they got and get one name just to say that they pleased the fans, saying, "Hey, I got Chris Bryant." You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're gonna get one name that's probably an expiring contract, and the names. I hope that we can rewind back to this podcast to figure out that we called it or not. But I feel like
Yeah.
we are gonna be buyers, not sellers, depending on our record. So, buy
I call.
trade.
I call. I'm looking at Cleveland right now, so I'm like looking at. You got me looking at these teams, seeing like who I would give them a call about.
That's what I'm
I'm looking
doing.
at Cleveland right now. Like I call Cleveland about where'd he go? Fucking Owen Miller.
Oh, April's Player of the Month type.
Yeah, Owen
type
Miller.
deal.
I'd give him a call. Like the thing is, like we don't need like Franmil Reyes. I'd also ask about, but there ain't no way you gonna get Franmil Reyes. Ain't no
Listen,
way.
What'd you say?
Like the thing is, like we don't need versatile pieces. We got that. We need guys that can come in, take over position, and play every day at that position. We got Swiss Army knives out the hoo-ha. We don't need none of that shit no more.
Out the what?
The hoo-ha, bro. Gotta come out the wazoo for all you old people out there.
Listen, like, hey, this might be the time to buy this guy back. Like I told you, I've been trying. Damn, here's another switch hitter. But getting
Here we
back
go.
our prospect
Brian
for the
Reynolds.
Pirates. Yes, he's playing. He's not playing Brian Reynolds like ish this year, right? Get him there to rejuvenate himself. Get him ready for the playoffs. We messed up by trading him, right? I don't even know how we let go of him. I forgot what happened. I'll look it up later.
That was the McCutcheon deal.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was the
I forgot
McCutcheon
about
deal.
that. What a waste. Because Brian Reynolds.
Yeah,
been
McCutcheon
so
was there for
good.
like 8. McCutcheon was there for
one
like
year. What was it? 1 year? Not even a whole year, right? But
no, yeah, he
anyway,
was there for like that season.
I'll tell you like this though. That's who I'm looking for. So you're gonna hear it here first that I am calling a Brian Reynolds I'm apology trade. Like, hey, my bad, come back. You know, that's where I'm going with. If there's one position in
Yeah.
our field that sucks, it's the outfield, and he's a defender and he's a switch hitter that can lead off. So I think that's a match made in heaven. Just say, I'm sorry, we'll give you an expiring contract. Just come back and right now his stock is low because he's not playing the way he usually plays. That's who I'm calling.
I don't think. The thing is, like, the ceiling is too high. I don't think. I don't think they give him up for what you think they'd be giving up for. Like,
Nah, he's 27,
you know.
so like I get it, but you still not getting none of my top prospects. You'll get probably one.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't give up like anyone top prospect, but I would give up. You'd have to give up like a Will Wilson or something like that for it, at least. Like
Okay,
maybe one, maybe two top 10, top 5 guys. You know what I mean?
I'll give you Steven Duggar and Will Wilson. There you go. Be happy.
Yeah, I like Steven Duggar, man.
I do too, but
For me, I can't differentiate the two between Steven Duggar and Austin Slater. Besides, one's right-handed, the other one's left-handed. But to me, like, they're almost the same guy.
Yeah, exactly. So you get those two. Matter of fact, trade both of them for Reynolds because he could bat both ways. You don't have to switch the lineups. He could bat both ways. So fuck it. Nah, it's fine. But that's my weakness right now because I'm not a Yaz Stremski like big fan. He always chokes when we need him most.
I like him. I like.
He's good for he's good enough, right? But I'm saying like Yaz does come up short when it comes to like clutch moments when we need him, or even in the playoffs. He was nowhere to be found in the playoffs. Like, so, and when I talk, you know how hard we are with our team. That's where I'm focused on. Like, I don't care about 100.
Like one of the things one of the things I hate about being a Giants fan right now is that we're in the NOS, and I wish they could fucking try and pull Ketel Marte, but that's like one of my favorite players is Ketel Marte.
Oh, because
he fits that mold.
Is he a switch hitter?
He fits two molds that you like. One is a switch hitter, and two can play the outfield and the infield.
Yes.
And middle infield. But
I
can
just
hit.
like the varieties. Like when it comes to baseball, I like to see like you cannot. If I had, like I said, I already built my all switch hitting roster. There's no weakness in it. You can go right, left, don't matter. We're gonna bat the opposite. Then
I'd give Baltimore a call about Trey Mancini.
No, I'll give him a call for John Means. Give me your lefty. I'll take him.
I think I think that dude was a fluke last year, man.
Really?
I don't think John Means is what everybody thinks John Means is going to be.
He's a good third,
but
I'll give him as a third.
Yeah, I think he'd be an all right third, but like I think they think he's a 1 or a 2, and they would want what you would get compensation for 1 or a 2, when he would turn out to be a 3 or a 4.
You're really big on Trey Mancini for sure. That's not
on what?
You're real big on Trey Mancini.
I like Trey Mancini. Well, the thing is, I like Trey Mancini a lot. He hits well for power. He's a pretty solid fielder. He can play the outfield. He can play first base. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Belt's going to be walking sooner rather than later.
Well,
you're going to have to replace him.
We know this.
Who do you replace him with? Darren Ruff is 35. Like, who do you replace him with? Oh, there's my son. You want to say hi?
Hey,
and there he is.
We got the same thing. The same controller.
Yep. He's watching YouTube, doing what I can to keep him pacified.
Listen, man, like
hey, no.
I'm all for, so let's talk this right here, right? Let's talk this now before we call this podcast, a wrap. It's the Giants not winning the World Series this year. We made playoffs, but we're done, right? We didn't win the World Series.
Yes.
We're in 2022's off season. What are the moves you're gonna do? I'll go after you, but what are the moves that you're gonna make to improve this team? I know we can't predict who's free agents, who's gonna trade. I'm talking about the roster we have. What are you giving or taking from that?
I'm letting Longoria go. I'm letting Brandon Belt go. Mm-hmm. I'm letting probably Yastrzemski go if I can't get anything from. He's all right, but you can do better. I'm depending on what's going on with the Yankees. I'm putting all of my resources on Judge. I'm putting all of my whatever he wants. I'm giving it to him. Giving it to him. You know what I mean? You get Luciano. You start him day one or week 2 next year. But like those old guys are making like way too much money for the production they're putting in. Longoria had a good like week or two, but I'm letting him. I gotta let him go. You gotta let him go because like now you're at a point where like your four cornerstone pieces or three cornerstone pieces are all in their mid-30s, mid to late 30s. You know what I mean? They're past their peak, they're past their prime, they're on that downhill slope. I rather than get rid of those three eventually, like sooner rather than later, and just struggle a little bit while getting these young guys ready to go, than just keep them there wasting space and wasting money.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. I agree totally about everything you said, but especially that stuff
Yeah.
at the end. I would rather suffer now knowing that we're growing these guys for their potential. And the only reason why it really does help is because right now we're, we're nowhere near the Dodgers caliber. Like we're not gonna win the NL West as long as those guys have their players, right? So why
No.
not take the L's now? Hoping that they don't win another World Series, and just properly grow our farm system to the point where now once they become that team that's struggling, we're on the up
Yeah.
and going. So I love it. I love the fact that Brandon Belt. I really pray, and I'm telling you like this. I hope we don't have to make him walk, but I pray he retires. I pray he calls it
Look,
quits
man,
after this year.
you gotta rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, but what? No, what I'm
Not
saying
you.
is,
Not
what
you.
I'm saying
My
is,
son's like me.
yeah. What I'm saying is this. I'm bringing him into the front desk or the front office and saying, listen, Brandon, we're letting you go, but for your pride and ego, I'd suggest you just freaking retire, so that we don't have this. Yeah, we let him go type stuff. We already did it with Bumgarner, and you know
Yeah.
how. Like I would rather keep your pride and just retire, bro. Just leave. For Longo, he's not a real authentic Giant. You know what I mean? Like he's known as a Ray. So let's just buy. You could go because you've been holding a lot of our money anyways for the longest. You go,
Hostage.
you go. Brandon's gone. That's a lot of money that we can spend. And
I,
Yaz, like I said, Yaz, okay, like, but if he
I
stays,
want to
he
go back a
stays.
little bit.
Go
You
ahead.
you disrespected Detroit. You disrespected Detroit by saying you didn't want them the players.
I'm not taking Javi Baez.
No, Jamer Candelario I would take.
Okay,
Austin Meadows I would take. Victor Reyes I would take.
Austin
Like
Meadows. Okay, Austin Meadows the only one that I would take.
yeah, like you kind of I'd even take Robbie Grossman
Okay,
and
yeah,
Robbie
but
Grossman and Jamer Candelario switch hitters. You'd love them.
yeah, it's Detroit. Okay, so no
Hey,
disrespect to Aaron because I know he's gonna watch this since he's one of my co-hosts on any of my podcasts. But I'm not calling Detroit. Like I'm cool. Like those guys already have losers mentality over there. I don't need that bringing over to my locker room. But that's just
but
me.
see, like I like these old guys. Like Brandon Belt needs no offense. Like I don't need to be paying a guy that's going to be hitting 230, 240 every year with
And
20
always
home
and
runs,
always hurt half the
$20
year.
million
You know what I mean?
dollars. Yeah,
Brandon Longo's
like
always hurt.
like 220, 70 RBIs and 20 home runs is not 20 million worth it to be around.
At
You know what
all.
I mean?
I'm not
Yeah.
yet. You
Brandon
absolutely right.
Crawford bought himself that next year because of last year. And like it's just downhill from there. But he got lucky in that contract year and bought himself those 2 years. So he's gonna be there regardless of last year. But you let Belt go.
I
Longoria,
hope
let him go.
I hope the thing we thought Buster was gonna do this year with Bart happens with Luciano and Crawford. That's why I think they gave him the 2 years because they're projecting to see Luciano come up next year to the point where they school each other. Change the changing of the guard, so to speak, and getting him ready to continue the next 10 plus years as a Giants shortstop or whatever position you think he's gonna be at. But
I think I'd
I
put him at third.
I what's Jock Peterson's contract? Was it 1 year 6, right?
1 year 6, yeah.
But I'm bringing him back, right?
Yeah, I would
One,
bring him back too,
one, and
but
he
within
has
reason.
that. I hope he don't leave.
I pay him. I don't know. Let me know if this sounds like too much. All right. I would do a 2-year with a 3rd-year club option. I'd say maybe about 12 to 14 a year.
I like it. So it's a 3-year, 2 guarantee, 1 club option.
Or yeah, 1 club option or one club / player option
So
at
it'll
12 a
be
year.
like so
Because
it'll be 3 years total.
he's going to be earning more. He's going to be earning more than $6 million a year next year. So if I'm Giants, I do something. Actually, honestly, I do something maybe 10 to 12, 10 to 12 a year.
He's underpaid now for the productions he's
Absolutely.
giving. So yes,
This was a prove it deal.
So I'm giving it to him. Yeah, we're losing a lot of. We're gaining a lot when we lose Belt and Longo. He needs to get some of that money because one, he's one of those homers, right? He's from this area,
And you don't have to. And you don't got to play him in the field. You don't have to worry about him being liability in the field.
Two, he's one of those characters. Like I keep talking about that time he was in Milwaukee. A fan calling him, and this motherfucker just hits a home run and looks at him like, come on! I love that kind of.
I'm gonna tell you this,
bro.
You don't think L.A. and Atlanta would love him back now that he's just a DH? Exactly. Now that they have a DH in the National League?
Yeah, we all know his fielding.
I'd talk him into 10, but I'd be okay with giving him 12.
Yeah, so I would. Yeah, that's exact. But 12 is realistic too. So it's not like you're going overboard. But I see that we gave 15 to freaking Longo. So like I mean the production knowing this before we go, we have Carlos Rodon, Logan Webb that's coming back next year. Camilo Duval, how do you like him as a closer? He's very green, but I like his work. I like what he has.
I think he's gotta hone in the control stuff, really. But that'll come with time.
That's why come with time. That's why I like, he did something terrible in the playoffs for us, right? He choked on a save, and this is me outside looking in. This may sound stupid, but this is when Kobe Bryant airballed. I think he said 4 times. I forgot in the Utah Jazz conference finals when Utah beat them in '98 or '99, 1 and 2, and he comes back better because he's seen that high standard, he see the high level, and he was embarrassed at that high level to the point where he's like, that's not happening again. So I pray Camilo's the same way because Camilo, marching into October or not October, but marching into the playoffs, right? Well, yeah, it's October, but he was killing.
Alex Woodwalk.
He was killing. And he got humbled, but he's only 24, and I like his future. What do you think about him?
I like him. Like I said, you just gotta work on the control stuff. Limit the walks the best you can. Obviously, you got all those umpires giving some fucking craziness on these calls. I think he's gonna be good. I don't know if he's gonna be great, but you got two pretty experienced guys behind him with Rogers, and you got McGee as well, who's pretty solid. You got those 3 guys at the bottom of the bullpen. The late inning of the bullpen, I think, are good. I'm trying to see what they want to do about the starter situation. Really, because I think So 2 things, which is going to be interesting. One, I think you let Wood walk. Wood can go. You can replace Wood with any other average pitcher and be fine. The other one is what happens with Rodon at the end of the year, because it's a player option.
It all depends on the success of the team, probably.
Yeah, it's a player option. It's a player option, and it's not a club option.
Yeah, so for me, I think with the pitching, like the questionings that you're going with the pitching, I think we go with 6 moving forward, 6 starters. One's going to be like the long reliever, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, after Rodon and so you got Rodon, you have Webb, Desclafani, and then you have Woods, right? Woods would be the
you also got an old long neck over there now too, fucking Jelly. Yeah, the Jelly Man. Jelly, peanut butter and jelly.
So you see right here, those are the bats that I showed you. Like so when I went
Yeah,
to
yeah.
went to Cooperstown and I went to that museum, they have to change it. So if MLB's Cooperstown's hearing this right now, you have to change it because there's the Guinness World Records. Tallest baseball player is the big unit at 6'10". That's a lie. Because Sean Hajeli is freaking 6'11".
Is he? I thought he was 6'10" too.
No, he's 6'11". They gotta change it. He's 6'11". Or let's find out for real because
Old long neck.
hey, I mean I'm not big on him.
Oh, he is 6'11".
See, damn you really fast ass researching.
Well, I was already on the prospect list.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so for him, yeah, whatever. I'm not big on him, but you got what's his name? Speaking of Detroit, Mike Boyd. He's another one that they have that's supposed to be quote unquote a starter. I think he's just gonna be a long reliever. But after those four, I just don't see a fifth starter.
Hey, but
or a
Casey
sixth
Mize is
starter.
gonna be nice though in Detroit.
I like
Casey
Casey
Mize gonna be
Mize.
nice in
I
Detroit.
like him. I like him.
And also, Michael Fulmer's pretty decent too. He's pretty solid.
but it's Detroit, so I'm like, listen, Aaron Wright.
I
know you
don't
want to
know what you got. I don't know what you got against Detroit, bro. I don't know
not-
who in Detroit hurt
listen,
you.
Listen,
But they're
listen.
working their way up. They got Torkelson.
Listen.
He's coming up.
when we talk NBA, are we ever gonna discuss anything that has to do with Sacramento Kings?
No,
That's how I feel about Detroit sometimes.
no.
Do you talk Detroit Lions? Shout out to Tim,
Yeah,
'cause he's
but
a
like
Packers fan. But the Tigers to me is like that. Like,
the
yeah,
decent a while ago. Detroit did win a World Series. They did win a World Series in the 2000s. 2000 or 2010s, 2000s, I think.
I'm not trying to say that I'm disrespecting. It's like I don't know. It's just
I
those are
don't know who in Detroit hurt you, bro.
right. Not playing, but I'm just talking smack. I just know that I'm not calling bad organizations, even though, especially that is like, whatever. And I'm not really a big fan of their roster like you are. I really ain't.
In baseball, like the thing is, like in baseball, there's no bad organizations, minus Oakland. But there's no. I'll get on that in a minute. But in baseball, there's no bad organizations. In football, Detroit is a bad organization. My Raiders, they're a bad organization. Washington's a bad.
The Browns.
The bad organizations of football. Yeah, the Browns. You know what I mean? Like in basketball, the Kings. That they're a bad organization. Detroit is a bad organization.
Charlotte.
You know what the bad organizations is in basketball. In football, you don't have these teams that are mismanaging. Baseball is so unique.
Yes.
Because it's an ebb and flow. Like you go through your peak, your players get old, you start trading them away, you start trying to get prospects, then you go through a rebuild for about 4 to 6 years. Then you go into 4 to 6 years, you start calling those young players up, they start getting that experience, they start getting better, then you start going back up. Then those players that you had start getting old again, then you start retooling. The only thing that can fuck that up is when you get that player that's ready to go, ready to leave for whatever reason, gets greedy, what have you. I mean, granted, it's a business, get your money, but that's what'll derail that peak going up. You know what I mean?
What about the
i.e.
Orioles?
Washington.
That's not a bad franchise.
No, they're not a bad franchise. They're retooling right now. They are retooling right now.
They've been
You got
retooling
Cedric
since
Mullins.
they started.
Listen, you got Means, you got Mullins, you got Rutschman, you got Mountcastle, you got I think it's Austin Hayes.
What's the other guy? Gunnar
they're on that.
Henderson?
They're still building. He's years away, but they're on that stride. But they're good. I think they're getting towards the end of that rebuild and starting. I'm telling you, man, they're at 500. They're 500 now. They're coming up. I promise you. Give Baltimore.
What I'm saying is
2 years, and they're going to be competing with. They're going to be competing with New York. They're going to be competing with Boston. They're going to be competing with Tampa, and they're going to be competing with Toronto. I promise you.
Do you hear that division?
It's tough.
It's already tough now.
It's going. Yeah, It's always tough with 4 teams. Fucking Baltimore swept New York this year.
I'm not worried about that.
You didn't know about that, huh? No,
What?
bro.
I ain't
I
worried
don't
about
know who in Baltimore hurts you either. I don't know who in Baltimore hurts you either.
Hey, we can keep
look
going.
out for Baltimore.
We can keep going.
As long as Baltimore keeps the plays that they have and they start retooling and start getting the other young guys ready, 2 years.
What about the Pirates?
Max, oh no, they're still retooling.
They've
they're
been
still on that
retooling
downhill
since.
slope.
They've been retooling since Barry
Yeah,
Bonds.
no, yeah, they're not. Like, nah, but Pittsburgh they're not those dudes right now. Brian Reynolds is decent. Brian Hayes is pretty decent. Somehow they're fucking making Dan Vogelbach into like one of the better first basemen, which is like beyond me. But
he was nothing more than a pinch hitter for what, Milwaukee?
No, he was their starter for them, but like he was splitting time with Rowdy Tellez.
Who was way better, which is the reason why he walked.
Rowdy Tellez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like the fact that he's batting over 300 right now is like beyond me because he was never that guy.
Now you got me on this
Anywhere
topic because now I want to keep thinking of teams that I know traditionally, historically, has never done anything. Detroit,
Oakland.
I give you. Oh yeah, I'm not trying to bash on the Bay Area. You know how I am. So
I'm bash on Oakland. You want me to bash on Oakland?
No.
Oakland A's, you're a bad organization. They're a bad organization.
They're going to Vegas.
They don't pay their players.
The owner
doesn't give a shit about paying their players. They got that shit ass stadium. They're looking to move to Vegas. They can't keep anybody there. Oakland A's, you're the 31st minor league team in baseball, and you guys are ass.
Ouch!
Telling you that.
I
ripped these muffins open.
I have a question though. Say this happens because I'm about to close out. But say this happens, Oakland. Well, I know they're done, but they move to Vegas. Are they getting a stadium for them, or are they gonna share with the Raiders?
They're not gonna move unless they have a stadium.
So I'm gonna tell you like this: Vegas already got announced. I don't know if it's true or not. I seen it on an article, but I don't know how credible this article was. But the NBA already announced that they're expanding the teams, 2 teams. They're going back to Seattle and they're bringing one to Vegas. So you now have an NBA team going to Vegas, and now you have Vegas Raiders. I mean, they already have a really good hockey team.
You know why else I hate the Oakland A's? All right? This is another reason. All right? Because when the Raiders were leaving, they bashed the Raiders, saying that they were faithful to blah, blah, blah. Now those motherfuckers are looking at leaving. The Oakland A's are just a bad organization. They're just not good people. They don't give a shit about their fans. They don't give a shit about their team. They don't give a shit about anything. You got less people in Oakland Stadium watching a game than they were at that Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game that I was at a couple of weeks ago. They're just a bad organization. I can talk about those.
We probably had more at Cooperstown when I went to the Hall of Fame game.
Yes. That's the only bad organization in baseball.
Man, it sucks. But like I said, with Vegas, like I said, they already have that monstrosity of a stadium for you guys, the Raiders, right? You already have T-Mobile Arena for the WNBA's team, the Las Vegas A's. Mm-hmm. Now you have the hockey team that's pretty good. I mean, every time I look at the freaking hockey standings, they're always there.
If the NBA expands there, I think they'll wind up like sharing that stadium with the Vegas, with the Knights.
No, that's what's happened. The Knights and the A's already do. That arena's already going to share all that. So and then I really like, because Vegas is a growing city. Believe it or not, like it's growing outside of the Strip, which is why
if Vegas is getting an NBA team, I would never.
I love Vegas.
So I'm sure the NBA team will split that stadium with the hockey team. They'll probably just be in that stadium together, because in Denver you got the Nuggets and the Avalanche in the stadium. That's doable.
There's a lot of arenas like
that. But
like
the A's won't move unless they got a stadium, because that's what the big deal is. Because they were looking at moving to Fremont for a while. They were looking at moving to Alameda. They were looking at moving to Santa Clara. Like, they were looking at moving everywhere. So, and they were also looking for a long time at moving building a stadium. You know where they have all that cargo stuff at over there?
You're not moving that. That's the reason why Oakland's
by there. No, but not in there, but like by it. is
Oh,
what they were looking at trying to do.
by international, basically, that whole little strip.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't look Oakland to me, and growing up on the other side of the bridge, Oakland is the heart of the Bay Area, right? Like that's the culture of the Bay Area, and it's really sad to see. It's really sad to see like a lot of their history being erased. But
I I I am a huge fan of the city of Oakland. I'm a huge fan of
I
the
love
people
it.
of
I
Oakland.
love Oakland.
I love Oakland, and I feel like Oakland is getting so disrespected. You lose your football team, you lose your basketball team. Now you're gonna lose your baseball team, and then what do you got?
I don't
You
know.
know what I mean?
But I'll tell you like
Like,
this: if you think about the whole Bay Area, now that we're talking about this, where is the most produced professional players come from? Oakland. Jason Kidd,
yeah,
Gary Payton,
Antioch, Antioch
Marshawn
as
Lynch.
well.
But it's
Yeah,
it's like we always focus on San Francisco, but
it's usually Oakland, Antioch, and like Brentwood.
but I'm telling you, like it's always
It's all in
out.
the East Bay.
That's why people get mad when I represent some of these other cities from the Bay Area when it comes to players. It's like, bro, you don't understand. We are a very small place. We have small cities.
Yeah,
Like LA is huge, right? They have districts.
San Francisco's
You
so
have
small.
Watts. We have
It's just
Watts.
built
We have,
up.
but that's what I'm saying. That's why we call ourselves the Bay Area. That's why I'm always cheering on Tom Brady. He's from Sarah. I'm always cheering Barry Bonds. He's from Sarah. Aaron Gordon, St. Francis. Like all these other
Yeah.
people. Look, Lynn Sanity, Palo Alto. Freaking Devontae Adams, Palo Alto. Like if they're from the Bay Area, I'm gonna always cheer for them.
Aaron Judge from Stockton. You know what I mean?
Stockton from
Maurice
Aaron
Jones-Drew was
Judge.
from Antioch. Najee Harris was from Antioch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. So like that's where my heart is. Is always like, yeah, I'm from this city, but I love representing the whole Bay Area, especially when I'm in the military and they're like, "Where you from?" It's like I'm from the Bay. I'm from the Bay. And when it comes to these players, because Jason Kidd is my favorite player all the time, Barry Bonds my favorite baseball player all the time. Where are they from? They're from the Bay Area.
I can't root for the Niners, man. I'm sorry, homie.
No, it doesn't
Can't
even
do
matter
it.
about that. It's
Can't do
fine.
it, bro.
It's fine.
Do it.
But what I'm saying, I'm just talking about specific players. Like Oakland produces way more than what San Francisco is producing as far as
Yeah.
athletes. Anywhere else, like you can't even name outside of even Bill Russell. Like the city might claim him, but he's from Oakland too. That's what I was like reading. You know what I mean? Like, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? We're going off topic.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna close this podcast because I think we got really good content talking about our Giants. All my Giants fans out there, like, comment, subscribe. Get on this comments either on Facebook or YouTube and let me know what you think, because I want to see if you guys are actually a fan or a supporter. Let me know. I
Big
know.
differences.
Shout out to James McFarland from Excelsior District. I know you're gonna say something. You were really tough too. I need to get you on the podcast. I already know a lot of my Dodger haters are gonna be on here. My Dodger friends, they're gonna be over here talking smack, but it don't matter. It's G-Man all day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
he got
facts.
this all day. So with that, thank you for watching. And Mario, it's a pleasure again. Enjoy the grind again, because I'm about to get on soon. I just gotta go play a little
Always.
baseball in the backyard, and I'm about to barbecue.
I
But
gotta go do some laundry and dishes, but I've been putting it off because I've been grinding all morning, dog.
listen, Conquest is really whipping my ass, but I got halfway through. So let's see if I can finish this by tonight and see what other packs I can pull. So hey, again, thank you again.
Holler